Now, Lamont Roach is good boxer, as he's shown against Gervonta Davis.
He's very, very exciting, and he's a crowd pleaser. I get that.
But on the boxing level, I think he's not the top level of boxer.
No, I think Roach is just going to be far too quick for him.
It's 37.5 for Cruz and 62.5 for Roach.
Yeah, he might be able to fight Jake Paul for 50 million or something.
Yeah, step in, I think they need a replacement, don't they?
I'm fighting him.
Welcome back to BoxCast. In this episode, we're going to look at the upcoming fight, an event with Isaac Pitbull Cruz and Lamont Roach, which is taking place on the 6th of December in the Frostbank Center in San Antonio, USA. I think it's going to be shown on Amazon Prime, at least in the UK and in the US. Let's start with a tail of the tape. So Isaac Cruz has a record of 28 wins, 3 losses and 1 draw. He's had 32 fights in total, 18 wins by KO. He's age 27. He's 5'5", 164 centimeters tall. He's got a 62.5-inch reach, 159 centimeters. This fight is taking place at super lightweight, which is 140 pounds, 63.5 kilos, and he fights out of an orthodox stance. Lamont Roach has a record of 25 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, 28 fights in total, 10 wins by KO, and he's age 30. He's a slightly taller guy at 5'7" inches tall, 170 centimeters, and he's got a bigger reach, 68 inches, 173 centimeters. And he's also fighting out of an orthodox stance. So I think this is... and if Lamont Roach is stepping up in weight, I was going to say.
Yeah.
For this, well, he stepped up in weight before to fight Gervonta Davis, but that was a draw, but they haven't managed to make the rematch for various reasons, which is a whole video in itself. So he's stepping up from 130 to, now we're going to go to he stepped up to 135. For that fight. He's normally fighting about 130. Now he's stepping up to 140 to face Isaac Cruz. So super lightweight. And interesting fight. Isaac Cruz was beaten by Gervonta Davis. And Lamont Roach drew with Gervonta Davis, although that was not the best performance of Davis, but it may be because Lamont Roach was that good. Isaac Cruz has been beaten 3 times, so by Jose Valenzuela, who basically outboxed him at distance, Gervonta Davis, and Luis Montano Alvarez, which I think was when he was starting out. So it was a points loss, close points loss. It was quite a close points loss to Gervonta Davis, and a slightly wider one to Valenzuela, who put on a really good boxing performance, used his reach and height to keep him at distance, and he couldn't really work him out. Now, Lamont Roach is good boxer, as he's shown against Gervonta Davis.
Great boxer.
Yeah. And Isaac Cruz is more come forward pressure boxer.
I don't rate Isaac Cruz.
Yeah, I know you've said that.
Really don't rate him.
No, I think he's a good pressure fighter.
He's exciting. He's very, very exciting, and he's a crowd pleaser. I get that. But I don't think I think when he steps up, he gets beat.
Well, my sort of assessment of him is, as a fighter, he is really good and entertaining because he doesn't give up. He hasn't been knocked out. He is hard to beat because he's just relentless. But on the boxing level, I think he's not the top level of boxer.
No, he's a great CD.
And when he's faced people who can, box, as in Jose Valenzuela and people, Gervonta Davis at top level, then he can't quite work them out. The same tactic doesn't work all the way through.
Do you know what it is with Cruz? I think my problem I've had with him is I've heard all the excitement about him, and I haven't watched loads of his fights, but the 2 fights I did watch, he got beaten both of them. It was really, and he just didn't impress me. And I just thought, you've got no plan B.
Yeah, it's just one method of fighting, and if it works, it works. Like, because he has good results. He's beaten Rolando Romero by a knockout in the 8th, and his relentless work rate and stuff generally, lands a lot of punches, gets through. He's a tough boxer, but when you go to the top level, and or somebody who's got a good game plan to work him out, a really good game plan, then he's got stuck, and that's my concern in this. Lamont Roach is going up in weight, but he didn't really look out of sorts against the biggest puncher in 135 against Gervonta Davis. And Isaac Cruz isn't the biggest boxer, isn't the biggest sized person, even though he has got pop. Lamont Roach is a far better boxer. And especially if he fights like he did against Gervonta Davis, the tactics, if he, game plan is on par, I can see him frustrating Isaac Cruz a lot in this. Because I think he's got the ideal skill set to beat in Isaac Cruz. If he gets caught and then, if he messes up, yeah, I can see Isaac Cruz beating him. But I think Lamont Roach has probably got enough in his toolkit to, take a relatively comfortable points victory here.
Yeah, I can see Roach dominating this fight.
Yeah.
I really can.
If he can take his punch power, then I can see him really giving a masterclass.
I just think Roach's fighting style is basically going to counter out Cruz's pressure.
He's a counter puncher and he's got good defense.
Yeah, and I don't think.
And obviously, he's used to the pressure with Tank Davis.
Yeah, I don't think Pitbull's going to have a.
Yeah, I don't think he's got a plan B. Yeah.
He really hasn't. We might be wrong, and we're not professional boxers, but.
Well, he may show us that, and then it could be a really interesting fight.
He's never going to be in a. Well, I say he's never going to be in a dull fight. Some of the fights I've seen him with, I was disappointed.
I think it depends on the opponent. He never tries to make it dull because he does go, but he can be frustrated, and then he can't change his plan, which is the thing. Whereas the really great fighters can change the way they'll adopt to their opponent or the.
The only thing that, like you say, at the start of this, that might worry me is Roach moving up in weight.
Yeah. Because essentially he stepped up twice, isn't it? He's gone from 130, 135 in one fight and 135 to 140.
But then some fighters relish moving up in weight and they become stronger.
Well, he didn't look out of sorts to 135. And you got to give him respect. He's gone from 130 to 135 to fight the best, well, allegedly the best guy in there in terms of a powerful puncher. I can see you looking at me thinking, no, Shakur's the best guy in that division.
Gervonta Davis.
But he was the highest ranked guy.
I had Roach winning that fight as well, I think.
I think I had it as a draw. Yeah. I did agree, but I think you had it as him winning. So, well, I think there's a lot of people who go either way. I think, so.
I just can't see. I just think Roach is going to put on another special performance. But he's had a couple of draws as well, hasn't he, Roach?
Yeah, he's had 2 draws.
Yeah.
One being Gervonta Davis.
And one against Orlando Cruz.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure he's got the power to keep him up. And if you haven't got the power to push,
I don't think he needs it.
But
I think he's clever enough and smart enough to.
Well, that was going to be my next point, but I think his boxing skills are there, as he did against Gervonta Davis. And to be fair, he did hit Gervonta Davis, so he did catch him to enough to get a bit of respect. And I think in this, I'm not sure Isaac Cruz is much, much bigger than Gervonta. So even though Lamont Roach is stepping up, he's fighting a relatively small guy in that division. In terms of height and reach anyway. So I don't think he's at that sort of physical advantage. Maybe the strength, but we'll find out. That you can only really see on the night, isn't it? But yeah, I don't think the power is going to be that much of a thing. I think his boxing skill he's got enough there and defensive responsibility that he can put on a really, really good performance here.
Yeah, I just think he's going to do it.
And I've got to say, I actually do like watching Pitbull Cruz because he's quite exciting boxer to do. I don't like the fights where he gets frustrated.
He is exciting.
But I think Lamont Roach has enough. If he shows what he did against Gervonta, I think he's got enough there that unless Isaac Cruz can change his style a bit or adapt to him, I think, he can quite comfortably make a 12-round points to decision in his favour.
Yeah. I think Roach is just going to be far too quick for him.
Yeah. Because he's only got one loss, and he hasn't been knocked out, so Lamont Roach is quite tough. And we've seen him take quite some good punches from Gervonta as well.
Yeah.
So he didn't look out of sorts at 135. So if he can be the same at 140, I think, he's got a good,
a
good chance.
I have Roach as a heavy favourite.
I suspect we are going to be in the minority here. We get the...
No, I reckon Roach's favourite, 2-1.
Well, on predictions, it's 37.5 for Cruz and 62.5 for Roach. Roach by decision. Okay, yeah. So they are basically what we're saying.
Yeah.
25% KO for Cruz and 12.5% decision. Yeah, I'd say that's about right. 2/3 to 1. Well, approximately 2/3 to 1/3. And probably right on the others, the predictions. So let me see if there's a betting odds on them.
I really like Roach. I felt sorry for him against Gervonta Davis.
I've got to say that as well. I think I felt a bit sorry for him. So what have we got? It's 15-8 for Isaac Cruz and 4-9 on. So and 16-1 for the draw. So yeah. So Lamont Roach is the favourite.
Yeah.
I think it's for that.
And he's my favourite. And I tell you what, he can kick on. If he wins this, he'll kick on.
If you're a draw against Gervonta Davis, which probably should have been a win, and then you've got he beat Isaac Cruz, another weight step up, then he's in.
He might be able
I think there's a lot of big fights out there for him.
Yeah, he might be able to fight Jake Paul for 50 million or something.
Yeah, step in, I think they need a replacement, don't they?
I'm fighting him. For £12.50.
Yeah. No, we've got to charge a bit more than that side.
No, yeah. Like I say, I know you're a fan of Cruz, and I like Cruz's style, that come forward style, but
yeah,
you need to have something else as well.
That's my concern. The elite
to take that next level, and I think it's shown with Cruz that when he has stepped that class up, he's been found.
He's been found out. I mean, he's won some of them, but he's
always going to be
because he's dangerous
up there in the rankings and stuff like that. But I think him as well as a type of boxer, his career can drop quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But whereas I think Roach is just going to go up and up and up and up. Well, I hope so anyway.
Well, I think if he stays at this weight, super lightweight, you've got a load of people in here. Dangerous opponents, but really big fights, isn't it? You've got Subriel Matias, Richardson Hitchens, Puello, Tiafimo, although we don't know which white division, Barboza Jr., Russell, Dalton Smith, Adam Azim's in there. There's a few. Keyshawn Davis was, although we don't know exactly where he's gone now, but Valenzuela, there's quite a lot of good names and good fights and boxing, good boxing to be seen there. So, I think because Isaac Cruz is basically the interim champion of WBC behind Subriel Matias. So there's obvious fight. Gary Antoine Russell's the WBA champion. You got Tiafimo's the WBO and Richardson Hitchens as the IBF. And even up before them, there's a load of, there's some good fights. So, yeah, I think he can pull it off. There's some
we
interesting
shall
fights
see.
For him. Although I'm not sure they'd want to fight him if he pulls it off. That's the only thing. But I think, yeah. So it'll be an interesting interesting fight. So, prediction time.
Roach points. Clear. 1.
Roach points.
118, 110.
I think I agree, but I think because the judges will score the usual way, I think it'll be a bit closer than that. But I think he's still going to win relatively clearly. Unless Cruz can catch him and overwhelm him, or he doesn't turn up properly. Maybe the weight will be a factor. And that's the chance I give for Cruz. But yeah, I can't see. I think if Roach performs, I think if they both perform at the best, I think Roach on points is the decision. I think Cruz would have to get him out of there, which hasn't been done before. I mean, if he does, then it's a statement from Cruz as well. I think then he is.
Nah, not going to happen.
But yeah, we shall see. So yeah, let us know in the comments what you think. Are we underplaying Isaac Cruz? Are we overplaying Lamont Roach? What do you think the result will be? And yeah, we will get on to the next fight. And the next fight in this is quite a good card, which is, we don't always...
On Amazon Prime, isn't it?
This Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Pay-per-view, unfortunately, but it is what it is.
You can pay for it for me.
Yeah, we will do.
Thanks.
Well, we're going to make our video, so we need to watch it. Although, to be fair, depending, I don't know how much it is and how much it's going to be in the UK, but if you get the 3 or 4 fights we're going to show, it's a good card. So there are a lot of interesting fights.
Fair. It's good. There were 3 good fights on
which is like a nice segue to the next fight, which is Stephen Fulton and O'Shaki Foster, which is at super featherweight. Fulton is the WB, whichever one it is.
Fulton's moving up in weight.
Oh, is he?
Isn't he?
Oh, he's going from featherweight to super featherweight. So he's going to...
O'Shaki Foster's a WBC featherweight champion and Fulton's moving up. Didn't stay at that over division very long, did he? Did he get win annoy you?
No, he's jumped.
He's hot-tailed it up a division.
Well, yeah, I'm surprised that Fulton's first then. It should be Foster versus Fulton on the thing.
Yeah, well, to me, yeah.
Because if he's stepping up. But, okay. So, yeah, super featherweight. So, let's start with a tail of the tape. Stephen Fulton, his 23 wins, 1 loss, 0 draws, 24 fights in total. He's had 8 wins by KO. He's age 31. He's 5'7", 170 centimeters tall, 67-inch reach, 170 centimeters. This fight is at super featherweight at 130 pounds, 59 kilos, and he fights out of an orthodox stance. O'Shaki Foster has a record of 23 wins, 3 losses, 0 draws, 26 fights in total, 12 wins by KO. He's age 32. He's 5'9", 174 centimeters, and 72-inch reach, 183 centimeters. And he also fights out of an orthodox stance. And as Simon said, he is the WBC champion. So,
yeah, because he won the vacant title against Ray Vargas, and then he lost it against Conceição, but then regained it in the rematch.
I think we did that fight.
Had a couple of fights in between that as well. I find it quite interesting that Fulton's moving up in weight again.
Yeah, that's what put me off the thing. But I mean, an interesting fight if he can jump up and become another 3rd weight world champion or whatever it is. So it is an interesting resume. I think if he does win, then it makes, in a way, his win against them, which people have downplayed a lot more impressive. Or he has heard that Inouye's coming so soon. So he just get prepared.
Absolutely crapped himself.
Yeah. Because just for context, if people don't know, that's his loss was against Inoue at super bantamweight to make Inoue stepped up to super bantamweight and became the unified champion against Stephen Fulton.
Interesting fight, this.
I think it's quite tough fight as well, isn't it? Because
it's going to be boring.
Well, Fulton normally is going to box. Shaki Foster is sort of that. And then it's really who's got the better boxing skills, which means it's probably going to be neither of them a great KO artist, so it's probably going to go the full distance of 12 rounds.
Basically, what that means is it'll be over in 2 rounds because it'll be exceptional knockout.
Usually, that's what I'm hoping. I'm trying to put it into that position, so it'll be a firefight.
Shaki Foster's a really good boxer.
Yeah.
Really good. I think, wasn't he like fighter of the year in 2023 or something? Yeah. He's had a couple of losses, but come back. Is he what? I think he takes the eye off the ball, doesn't he? I think.
Well, it's concentration, isn't it? I think he's liable to make a mistake or doesn't keep his concentration all the way through. And that's what usually lets him down. But I mean, he is tough. I don't think it's just points, and it's usually relatively close fights he's had. His losses coming through, and then in recent times, it's only Robson, Conceição, which,
so it was close fights.
It's been split positions both times, but they were close fights, really one way close. And then the other way. And he's got quite a reasonably impressive resume at that weight. So
can he beat Fulton?
Yeah,
that is the question.
Yeah.
How does Fulton approach this fight? What are the sizes again? Sorry. What's Fulton?
5'7" against 5'9" in height, and it's 67-inch reach against 72-inch reach. Shaki Foster has got quite a bit of a physical, although you're thinking that's quite a huge difference at the same weight. Is going to be like, is Fulton fill out to that weight? Because
I'm just wondering whether Fulton, I can't say too small for the weight. Is he moving up a bit too quick? Although we could say that about Lamont Roach. Fulton is take away the Inoue fight.
He's got a really impressive
He's a
CV.
good boxer. Yeah. And he has got an impressive CV. And the last few fights have written him off because of the Inoue fight. And he's done really, really well.
Well, I think he had one where he's recovered from a bit like the Carlos Castro fight, the one after, in a way, but I think he was still recovering. And then he's got his confidence back, and again, he's fought Brandon Figueroa twice, once at 122, which he won by majority decision, and then at 126, where I think obviously he's worked him out and it was a unanimous decision, and quite a clear victory for him. And Figueroa is a dangerous guy who's a bigger, Brandon Figueroa's like, similar stature to Oshaki Foster, and I think Figueroa's 5'9" as well, and he's got a 72.5-inch reach, which is big.
Yeah, I mean,
so he's used to dealing with somebody physically of that nature. I think Oshaki Foster's a better boxer than Figueroa.
Yeah, I think Oshaki Foster's got a lovely jab. Trying to break this down speed wise.
Speed-wise, I think Fulton's probably got a little bit of an edge.
See, I'd say Foster, though.
Would you?
Yeah.
Well, the reason I'm saying is because Fulton's coming up.
The problem
so
I have
Fulton is quite quick and good.
I start giving Fulton a chance, and then I just go back to the Inoue fight and how awful he was.
Well, it's the first fight we did on amongst the first fight we did on us.
It's ingrained in there.
Well, whenever I see him, I see that knockout in a way, and that's the thing you always think. And I think it's unfair on Fulton because, like you said, in all the other fights, Inoue is just the monster. He's just special.
And do you know what? This is
if
why
you take that out. If you look at his fight, we'd probably be favouring Stephen Fulton.
Do you know what? That Fulton fight against Inoue, it might have been because he was so weight trained.
Yeah.
Because that does have an effect. And that's why he's had to move up quickly in the two weights because he just can't make them weights anymore.
Well, I think they were looking, isn't it? They waited for that fight because it was the big fight. But you remember, Inoue was stepping up in there as well. So I think the weight thing sort of equalizes out. It's his first fight at 122.
No. The massive difference between someone trying to lose the weight and someone moving up to the weight. Someone trying to lose the weight is not going to be 100%. Someone moving up to the weight, they're going to be in a much better shape for me.
I think we just take the Inoue one out of it because Inoue is just that good. I think you can't really measure anybody against in a way because it's not close. The difference is really, really far. He's just,
I just think O'Shaquie's going to be
and then
too big.
Yeah, that would be my concern in this.
I think he's going to be too big.
Because O'Shaquie Foster has some good fights in there. The Conceiçãos, Abraham Nova,
too
people
sharp.
Like that. Hard, Ray Vargas. He's got big, tough fights in there.
I think Fulton
The thing I would give Fulton doesn't normally switch off.
No, he doesn't.
Like I said, if you take Inoue out, he's usually good and he executes his game plan and his boxing is consistent. O'Shaquie Foster, we've seen, can, and that's where he usually comes undone. But it's whether Fulton can cope with the size difference here. And this is a proper, it's a level up guy of that size.
Super featherweight.
Yeah.
I think I've got a feeling O'Shaquie Foster stops him as well,
Well, it could happen. Fulton has been stopped.
Or does Fulton turn into this new super featherweight beast?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
It could be.
I think
Fulton's going to box.
I think Fulton will give him. He's going to have success because he is a good boxer. He is, but I think the size. I wouldn't usually say size plays a part, but I think it is going to play a part in this.
Well, I think in here, I don't think O'Shaquie Foster's that far behind him in boxing level. Like you said, we could argue who's the fastest. We could argue who's got the better defense. We could, things. I think Fulton's probably a bit slicker, but I don't think it's a huge gap. And then I think the weight, the height, and the natural size does make a big difference in there. Because I know we've said it on Bum, we normally pick the smaller guy when they're allegedly smaller guy, in a way, a la Crawford and people like that. But I think one, you're talking about special fighters, and second is the difference in skill level was so far apart that the weight wasn't such a big factor. I think here it's much closer.
I think what we have to forget as well is before the Inoue fight, there was a lot of noise about Fulton.
Yeah, he was top 10 pound for pound. Like they were shouting for him to get into that, isn't it? A lot of shout.
I don't know. No. I'm an O'Shaquie Foster fan. I'm not a Fulton fan.
Well, the problem with Fulton, we've had with Fulton, because obviously we've seen him against Inoue and that's it. It takes it out. And I think you've got to be, like I said, take that fight out. And I think this is quite a close fight. But I think I'm erring towards O'Shaquie Foster. Just on, because I don't think it's a huge difference in boxing skill.
What the public saying?
Should we have a look at the odds for this one? We've got. Ooh, interesting. 54.5, Fulton. Basically decision. 27, just over 27% decision for O'Shaquie Foster. Then 9% draw. And 9% O'Shaquie Foster KO.
No, hold on. Fulton 54%, Foster 27.
No, 27 to win by decision, and then 9% to win by KO. So 54.5 for Fulton to win.
Yeah.
36.5 for
O'Shaquie
Foster to win, and 9% for the draw. Well, the draw percentage is quite high, isn't it? So that's where it's. And it's 55.5 basically decision. The only way they've got Fulton winning is by decision. So 54.5, sorry. And then 27% is decision for Foster. Basically 9% is KO for Foster. And then 9% is the draw.
Making Fulton the favourite, the public.
Yeah.
What the bookies saying?
Let's see what the bookies have. They haven't got the odds on there, so I need to find another set, which I don't know if they exist.
Okay.
Let me just do your thoughts. That's an interesting one, isn't it? While I find the odds.
Yeah. Then again, like I say, I'm not a Fulton fan, so maybe I'm missing something.
Well, I think if you take the Inoue fight out, you probably would a little bit. Betting wise, it's slightly favouring O'Shaquie Foster. He's 19 to 20. And Stephen Fulton is 11 to 10 and 16 to 1 for the draw. So it's pretty damn close. Well, near enough 50-50.
It is 50-50.
But I think they've got, like, Shaki Foster's got both decision and knockout, although most of it's favouring decision. But he's got a reasonable knockout chance. And Fulton's just decision. So I think it's that. It's just, I think there's some people being, like, swayed by the size. And Shaki Foster, despite the lower, it's not a huge number of KOs, it does hit hard.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Doesn't change my mind.
Go on then, we're doing predictions. Where we go? I think it is quite a close fight. It's whether Fulton's game plan, whether he can cope with the size and his game plan works. I think he is slightly slicker than Shaki Foster. He's slightly slicker in the technical skills and everything else. I think Shaki Foster can be hit, as he's shown in a couple of fights, but against really, really good opposition, good level opposition. But I think they're not that far apart where the size will be, brings it back in.
I'm going to go for the close points
for
win for Foster.
Foster on points.
Oh.
I'm going to go for Fulton on points. I can see him pulling it out.
It wouldn't surprise me, but I just think Shaki Foster's size should play a part.
Well, yeah, I think it's going to be close.
Play a part in this. We shall see.
Mm-hmm. We'll have one each.
We're not really like convinced either way on this, are we?
No, I can see it going either. I mean, I'm just hoping it's going to be really boring.
Yeah,
I
hope it's a really good fight.
Yeah. That's more what concerns me about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know in the comments what you think. Foster and Fulton. Do you think it's a step too far for Fulton? Who do you think is the better boxer? What do you think of step too far for Fulton? Sorry. Who do you think is the better boxer, and what do you think of the chances? Do you think Foster or Fulton who are going to win, and how? Let us know in the comments. Right, next fight. To be honest, this is the fight that excites me on this card the most.
Really?
Well, the guy I want to see the most in Erislandy, Lara, and Janibek Alimkhanuly. I hope I've said that correctly.
Just say
Janibek. And I actually think this is the bigger fight on this thing because it's a unification fight. Wait a minute, just let me check. Is he fighting at different weights? I thought it would have been a unification fight at middleweight. Yeah, because it's a unification because Janibek has two titles, the WBA and IBF. And Erislandy Lara has the WBA.
Yeah, Janibek holds the IBF and WBO.
Yeah. And it's got on here, it's taking place as super welterweight.
Okay.
That sounds a little bit wrong.
It's at middleweight.
Yeah, let me just put this in to the thing. Yeah, it's a unification fight, so it's a middleweight. Didn't think it doesn't make sense at another weight. So let me put that on. Because it would excite me a little bit less if it was at a lower weight. And that's already a stacked division. You'd got to go down to the thing. Okay, let's get that thing. So unification fight to combine
for middleweight title again. Yeah.
So let me start with Taylor the Tapes. So Erislandy Lara has 31 wins, 3 losses, 3 draws, 37 fights in total, 19 wins by KO. He's age 42. He's 5'9", 175 centimeters tall. And he's got a 75-inch reach, 191 centimeters. And this fight is taking place at 160 pounds. Erislandy Lara fights out of a southpaw stance. Janibek has a record of 17 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 17 fights in total, 12 wins by KO. He's age 32. He is 6 foot tall, near enough 6 foot tall, 182 centimeters tall. So it's 5'11 and a half, and he's 71.5 inch reach, 182 centimeters. and he's fighting up. He also fights out of a southpaw stance. So it's an interesting unification fight where both of them are southpaws. So it's WBO and IBF, which are Janibek's, and WBA, which is Erislandy Lara's. So yeah, unifying 3 of the belts, which is what we like to see in these divisions. Ring don't actually rank Lara. If Janibek is the number 1 ranked by Ring in the division. So yeah, interesting fight.
Yeah, I think because he only fights like once a year, Lara, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. He is 42. It takes him that long to recover.
Takes him that long to get out of bed.
Yeah. But, you know, give context, he's had, I think, quite a good...
Technically, he's one of the
very best.
Slick boxer.
Clever. So he fights out of USA, but he's like the Cuban school, isn't it? So it's very slick.
Super clever, slick boxer.
Mm-hmm.
Destroyed Danny Garcia in his last fight, although Garcia's days are well behind him. I think I picked Garcia to win that fight as well.
Yeah.
Lara, most probably classed as the easiest champion in this division.
Yeah.
But
I don't think that's like that much. You've got Janibek and you've got Carlos Adames, so they're it's not...
Don't count out Lara, though, because like I say, he's one slick, clever man.
Well, his losses have only been like either really close on points to Jarrett Hurd. It was like 114, 113, either way, it's split decision. Canelo, obviously, it was a little bit wider than Canelo in his prime, so yeah. But there's a lot of people have quite a lot of contention with that fight. It was a split decision as well. And Paul Williams, which was a majority decision, but again, really, really close. So, you know, he hasn't been knocked out. It's very, very slick. His losses have been close. I mean, he's got 3 draws as well. Again, you know, there's a lot of fights where against good boxers where you're going to be close.
Tell you what, and I've slated Lara in the past, but he is super, super slick. Janibek, I think, might have his hands full here.
Well, I think he will have.
And I'm a big Janibek fan. But the experience of Lara is just...
Yeah, if you ain't on your A game, you ain't getting a result.
Janibek can make a massive statement here by knocking him out. And
I think it puts
even
him on
at 42, it's still a huge statement. As Father Time caught up with Lara, again, well, you know...
He's still world champion.
He's still world champion, but he's in against someone I'd say he's in the prime of the at the moment. Janibek's are ruthless as well.
Well, I think you've got to... There's not really a weakness. Janibek has everything. He can box at that level, but he's got the power and the pop and and he likes to fight. You know, he can dictate a fight. He's hard as nails. So, you know, in all those things, he's got everything.
Janibek is going to have to make Lara work.
Yeah.
Because if Lara gets into his rhythm with him and sets his pace, I think Lara can make it quite easy fight, to be honest.
You put him under pressure and make him work at a fast rate. And then
someone at 42 years of age, make him work every second of every round. Can Janibek do that? Yeah, I think he can.
I think this is a good measure of, like, obviously we've hyped up Janibek on the channel. Like, we've seen good fights and good performance from. I think this is a fight to show really the world, the rest of other people, how good he is. It's a statement. I mean, especially if you can stop Lara, then it really is a statement because nobody's done that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to. I'm just saying if he can, that would be some statement.
I think we discount Lara because of his age. A lot of people discount Lara because of his age, but
I don't think that's a valid.
Honestly, point. He's so slick.
His style, it doesn't really make a difference.
Slick.
I mean, he frustrated Canelo for most of that fight. And like I said, there's people who think, you know, he should have won.
Tell you what, if this fight had been 5 years ago, for me, Lara wins it easy. On point.
Mm-hmm. Well, Janibek wasn't, I don't think, even professional. So how long has he been professional? Oh, he has, but
Am I playing too much on the age? I just think Janibek's going to have to work really, really hard against Lara. I don't know if Lara gets caught clean either. I think he's ever been.
but he doesn't really.
I don't think he's ever been caught clean in his life.
Yeah.
Is Janibek as special as we think he is? Can he go out there and make a statement? These are questions that need answering, and I just don't have them. Can Lara turn back? We say turn back.
What was your question?
The clock, but I don't think it's not about. I'm just wondering whether Janibek can put. I think Janibek is going to have to work really hard. He's going to have to adapt. He's going to get frustrated. I think he's going to miss a lot of punches.
It'll be interesting. We know what Lara's going to do.
I think Lara's going to really frustrate him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's whether he can deal with that.
Yeah, I think we know what style Lara's going to fight because he always fights the same style. I think the interesting thing for me is what style is Janibek going to take this on? Isn't it? How does he adapt to that, to the slickness of his boxing? But I think Janibek's good enough to match up to. I think his level of boxing is at least equal to Lara, and I think he's got more.
It's a really clever fight because it will show whether Janibek is what we think he is. Because if he's not,
then you can see Lara frustrated.
Lara will make him look silly at times as well. Lara is really, really bloody clever. He really, really is. And he is frustrating as hell. You go on a little walk, you cover up, you won't be catching him cleanly. You'll be getting caught with counters that'll absolutely do your head in. Then you'll get frustrated. You'll start tensing up, trying too hard. Lara will love that. Is Janibek as good as I think he is?
Yeah, I think that's what I said, isn't it? It's what Janibek brings to the table, but is it going to be a slick boxing match? Is it going to open up? Because I can see Janibek open up. I'm not sure Lara's ever done that. It's like you said, he doesn't get caught clean. He just is defensively responsible and box. But do you think he can outbox Janibek?
Yeah, I do.
I don't. I think Janibek.
I think he's really slick.
I think he's really slick, but I think Janibek's equally. If he's made to fight in a boxing match, I think he's equally good at boxing. At least equally good to Lara. And I think he'd make a boxing statement here by.
I think Lara's going to be on the counter punch. I don't think he's going to be on the front foot.
Mm-hmm. Interesting one to see what the odds are.
All right, I've just made my mind up anyway.
Okay, so let's see.
What the public saying?
100% Janibek. 75% decision and 25% KO. And let me see the odds. I'll do them on there. Actually.
I think it'll be. Would the bookies have Janibek as like a massive favourite? Maybe.
2-9 for Janibek, 15-4.
Wow.
And 16-1 for the draw. So I think they're more confident. Quite wide on Janibek.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people might be taking account of that age.
Yeah.
And the other part is Lara hasn't really been active for a while, so they might have forgotten who he is and his boxing style. I don't think he's fought since September 2024 against Danny Garcia, wasn't it? Which was...
Yeah. Okay.
Go on. You said you made your mind up, so we're going to go.
Third round KO for Janibek.
She's been nulling me into her. TKO Janibek.
Statement made.
That would be a hell of a statement against somebody who's
I
never
don't
been
think,
taken.
but I don't think I don't think a lot of people will think it's a statement because they'll just go, "Oh, he's not a 42-year-old." But honestly, trust me,
Well, Canelo hasn't knocked him out.
it's a huge statement.
Yeah. I think KO too, the Janibek, but I think I want to give our man a bit more credit because I think he is that good. I think 9th round KO.
9th.
Yeah, because I think it's going to take a bit of time to wear him out. But I think he's going to start getting through and make a statement. Well, if he KOs him, it's a statement at any level. If he makes it in the 3rd round, well, yeah, that's like wow statement.
Yeah, 3rd round KO.
I think Father Time will catch up a little bit with Lara, and I think Janibek's in his prime, and I think he's equally good at boxing, but he has got the pop.
If Janibek starts landing freely,
yeah, it can be 3. It would be
the corner could pull.
Yeah.
Lara,
I think it's more likely to be that kind of thing. I could equally see it going to point.
Yeah.
But I think Janibek will outwork him. I think he'll be closer and then he'll get hold him and then outwork him. Yeah, 3rd round. I like it. 3rd round KO. So, yeah, let us know what you think in the comments about this fight. Do you think Janibek is heavy favourite? Are we underplaying Lara? Is it? I don't think it's going to be boring because Janibek won't allow it to be. You could see Lara trying to.
Because Lara's last fight against Danny Garcia wasn't boring.
No, he can. Get into it a bit, and he is tough.
He's slick. Honestly,
he's tough as well. I think as well as
slick, and he's so slick.
I think it's a really good test for Janibek, and if he gets through it, then I think he is who we and other people have bigged him up to be. It's a huge fight. And I think there's Crawford waiting in the thing, so
smash Crawford everywhere. Every time.
Well, he has to get past Lara, which is
he'll take care of Crawford in 2 rounds.
Oh, he may do. We will see. That would be one hell of a statement of all statements. Then does he become the greatest boxer of all time?
Then he has to fight Boots Ennis. Because Boots Ennis will take Crawford out in 3 rounds.
That'll be some hell of a fight sequence. That would be. Janibek knocks out Lara in 3 rounds, then has a fight against Crawford, and Crawford out in 2 rounds, and then has a fight against Boots and beats him in 1 round.
The fight I would want to see in the future, maybe at the end, it would be.
I think the winner of this against Adamus would be a really
good fight. Not the one I want to see. I'd like to see Janibek move up, and then him versus Hamza Shiraz. I think is a great fight.
Mm-hmm.
A really good fight.
Well, it's supposed to happen a middleweight, isn't it? But
yeah.
Obviously, I think the size was restricting Hamza Shiraz a little bit.
Yeah, and he performed really badly in his.
Yeah.
But then,
well, I think Adamus was that good as well, so I think it was.
I want to see Hamza Shiraz back as well, by the way. So, hurry up and get him back in the bloody ring.
I think there's some good fights there.
Yeah, anyway, back to Khanuly. Yeah, great fight. Look forward to it.
And the last one on this, although I don't know so much about them, Ramos and Mosley Jr. Mosley Jr. is, I think, Shane Mosley's son. So,
what a boxer he was.
Yeah. I'm not sure they're as good as that. We'll
watch it and find out.
Yeah, so just there'll be one to watch, see if his son
is any good.
Yeah.
If he's got if he's got the speed like his dad and the power, wow. Because his dad, I've really rated his dad. He was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Don't think he's quite at that level, but we will see. And then is it Jesus Ramos? That's got 23 wins, 1 loss. So, and he's 10 years younger. He's probably going to be the favourite, but interesting one to see.
We'll see.
Son of a really good boxer fighting in that division. Yeah, so watch the event. I think you said it was on. It's Amazon Prime. This
Prime,
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 really interesting fights in one. So it's quite a good card. So 2 world title fights and contenders fights, although I think all of them have been world champions, the 6 fighters at some point or other. So, yeah, interesting watch. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts on Janibek and Lara. Let us know your thoughts on Fulton and Foster and Isaac Cruz and Lamont and Roach, and what you think of the card and what you think of the event. And we shall see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching and listening.